Hey everyone, this is Carla Jenkins, and welcome to an all new episode of Projectized. I'm your hostess. I'm a certified project management professional, certified Scrum and IDLE. And in this episode of Projectized, it's going to be two parts, and it's going to focus on project management as a service. So I decided to do this series, this two-part series, because I really wanted to bring to everyone the latest in project management trends regarding project management. So for those who are new, welcome. Projectized covers three things: the business of project management, how businesses use project management, and obtaining project management certification. So project management as a service is how businesses use project management. And I'm going to start out with the definition of management as a service is based on cloud computing. And what is cloud computing? You say cloud computing is referring to accessing computing resources via a different location than your local computer, such as Google Drive, AWS, which is Amazon Web Services. That's cloud computing. And cloud computing has, in a way, revolutionized project management, but also magnified project management's importance, which is why I wanted to come on here and do it. So I'm going to give you this first part is going to talk about some basics of certain types of services. So as you know, there's three different types of services. I'm going to focus on two that are revolving around project management. The first is software as a service. So software as a service is example of Office 365, which is cloud-based, Google Docs, which is cloud-based. And the software as a service is any type of software that is cloud-based. That's why I started off this Projectized with the definition of cloud computing, because these type of services are based on the cloud. So example of that regarding project management is MS Project. So the second is platform as a service. And platform as a service provides customers with a pre-configured computing platform that they can use as needed. And this is also called managed hardware. So a managed hardware solution is where a company comes in and they provide support across the board. You also hear it called as collaboration tools. So Slack, Asana, and Microsoft Teams are an example of that. The third one is infrastructure as a service. So infrastructure as a service is different than platform as a service, because with infrastructure, what happens is they'll provide you with the service, but you as the company or the individual has to do the own updates. So you have to go in and manually do the updates. I'm starting at this point in part one because a lot of people don't really understand these different types of services because it's cybersecurity based. But a lot of what you're using regarding cloud computing is cybersecurity based. And that's why I wanted to start off this project management as a service series just with the basis of the project management. So we covered a little bit about that, and I'm going to do a recap about part one. I'm going to give the definitions. First, cloud computing it refers to accessing the computer via a different service than your local computer, meaning you're accessing the cloud. As I mentioned, you're doing Google Docs or Amazon Web Services, which is AWS, so it's cloud computing. And as I mentioned before, cloud computing has revolutionized a lot of what we do, but also project management software. And an example of what I said next of software as a service, which is software being used via the cloud, are Office 365 and Google Docs. The next definition I gave was platform as a service, and that definition is to provide customers with pre-configured computing platform where they use as needed. And with platform as a service, it's also called collaborative tools, and they provide support throughout the service. Examples that I used were Slack and Asana. Also Microsoft Teams, because I mentioned that software as a service, an example of that is Microsoft Project. So there's difference between the two. Team is a platform. Microsoft Project is software as a service when it comes to project. And then finally, I mentioned infrastructure as a system. And I said the difference between platform and infrastructure is that infrastructure is they'll provide you the software, but you're responsible for manually updating the system. Whereas platform as a service, the provider does all the updates. And another name for platform as a service is managed hardware solution. So this concludes this episode of Projectized, where I'm giving you the foundation of cloud computing and the different, that is one of the things that people talk about, project is that it can be overcomplicated, and that it can be like, in a way, it can be cumbersome at times, because I've used it before. I've used it to do some things, and sometimes it can be difficult, and especially as a project manager. But that's one of the things that you have to use. So I'm glad you came in there and you mentioned that, because that is something, this is part one that I'm doing, which is going to be cloud computer based. And I just wanted to provide everybody with the foundation of understanding where I'm going, because in part two, I'm going to link the cloud computing to project management and the project management body of knowledge, so it can reinforce why people use. Oh, that's great. Thanks for mentioning that, Sharp Exit. I'll look that up about different types of project management, because I will want to cover that too. But yes. The project management and service, which I will be covering in the second part, they're all cloud-based. So I was just giving the foundation of the cloud computing and the different types of cloud computing, so that people can understand that project management as a service isn't just one thing. So share this out for Projectized. Carla R. Jenkins, certified project management professional, certified Scrum and ITIL with over 12 years experience. And you can I'm a certified project management professional, certified Scrum and ITIL. So I do Projectize so that people can have better understanding of project management. And I usually do the show Monday through Friday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, thanks. Thank you for showing up. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next live stream, which will be Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great day.